Joni has come up to the building once, and she will meet with all juniors and seniors next week who are currently employed. And then what she's going to do is work with those kids to see if where they are currently working would be eligible for youth apprenticeship opportunities. And we made this decision with the work that Dave Seiler has done in the past, but with the equipment that's coming in and his numbers growing, he just did not really have time to commit to this. So Joni's going to come on board through CISA, and she's already made some connections with local businesses. So our goal is to increase the YAs, or the youth apprenticeships, over the next 2 years. So looking forward to that.
Is the paperwork so much to it with youth apprenticeships for the businesses?
It's kind of shifted, Dick, and Joni will take that on too, because there are the forms that we've always used in terms of number of hours, and then the skill sets that the local business partners are checking off on. She'll now process all that paper. I think the biggest, in Ryan's part of this, is that now he's hearing more. The more paperwork, or the bigger, large number of paperworks that are needed, are the ones that are now sent to the state for reimbursement in different funds that we're now eligible for, that we didn't have before. So for example, Ken Cartman had 2 days of a construction apprenticeship last year. Every one of those certificates those kids got, we are now making copies and sending down to the DPI for reimbursement. So it's those type of things at the next level that we're able to do. But we had a great first day, John, and tomorrow, today the freshmen were in the morning and in the afternoon, upperclassmen just in the afternoon, and then tomorrow everyone is there in the morning, and then just freshmen in the afternoon. And we really want to get the kids acclimated to how we do things.
All right, thank you, Lee. I assume everything went well at the middle school.
Yeah, I can speak. I was at the middle school probably 3 different times today, and all the lunches appeared to be going well. They're transitioning a new secretary in the office, and the office went very smooth today. The library was quiet. It was actually very quiet. The building was quiet, which is impressive. There's a full building out there. So one of the things that we did do throughout the last probably 6 months, we had many classrooms that were open. So we had made the choice to open up classrooms to support team teaching, and we realized the intentions are good, but that was like, using my slang terms, forced family fun. Like they were always together. So you would have 26 and 26 students, which a group of 52, and they might actually need to be talking about a different content area at times, and it was always 52. So what we've done is we've actually closed up some walls at the building, and then been mindful with where the openings are, and we have closed all of those up actually with like glass doors, and we have different solutions that we've used, and thankful for being able to do that. So that was a process to do. Travis did a nice job of just with using our local dollars to help to support that work. So yeah, we did some lighting updates this summer too, which is nice for the middle school, so the whole middle school wing can dim their lights versus it's like on or off, nothing in between. So I think some of those improvements help with the just day-to-day first day of school. And I could say from being there multiple times and walking around the building multiple times that they spent their day just getting used to routines and building relationships with the kids, and that's what the first few days of school are all about. So they were on walkabouts all over the building and practicing the responsible, respectful, and safe garden away with the younger kids, and it was a smooth day. So we did start our new K-8 emotional learning behavioral needs program at the middle school, and it did cause, when we did that, there's a lot of movement in classrooms where teachers changed rooms. We changed the location of a lot of our more itinerant service kind of staff members, and that went amazingly well. So everybody hit the ground running at the building. And Kara actually was, I think she spent almost her entire day at the middle school. Is that right, Kara?
No, well, most of it.
Yeah.
I was at Parkview for a while too.
Okay. So what was your perception of the first day at the middle school?
Well, my world was the Connections Academy, the K-8 program, and then our 3 to 8 ID program. So that's middle school, that's kind of where I lived today, trying to help and get things organized. I think the teachers have done a nice job trying to get schedules developed and make things flow for kids. Kids are complicated beings, so it takes a little bit of time to make all of that jive and flow, and but we'll get there, and day by day everything will start to take shape and work well for children.
The first day of school for some students is a significant event for them, especially after losing, they have a summer routine, and just like that, here we go. So that's probably what Kara spent her time working. What's that?
Said you could dim the lights, a little bit of ergonomics in there.
Yeah, well, I'm sure we did. So,
Okay,
there you go.
thanks.
We'll make sure Bob, when he comes,
Yeah.
he can give us a little bit more information on the 16th.
Okay, moving on down, possible future action items. Any unfinished business? New business, we have resolution 1920-42, approval to hire Amanda Haas for school year secretary at the middle school.
So moved.
Motion by Joe,
Second.
second by Jim.
Sorry, first.
Joe.
I can speak to that.
Yeah.
So they went on a pretty extensive interview process to find the right fit. And they ended up having the opportunity to hire Amanda. So Amanda will be the school year secretary for the school. So we also have just found out last week, we will have the fiscal year secretary position also as a vacancy. So she has an opportunity to go to a private position, in private industry position, located right in the community that she lives in. Good fit for her. So that's a big change for Mayville Middle School to have 2 new office positions. So Sam Teeters was actually in this position, so she's helping to do the onboarding and working with her. So we're fortunate to have her, very positive, which is great, and a go-getter, just ready to learn. So please approve her. She's already started to work.
Any questions on this approval to hire? Joe?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Motion carried 402.
It actually says in the policies that I have the ability to do that, by the way. But in the meantime, this was teed up and ready to go for the last board meeting, and then it had to get canceled.
Resolution 1920-43, approval to hire for Jamie Mackey for special education paraprofessional at the middle school.
So moved.
Joe,
Second.
second by Dick.
Kara can speak to this.
Sure. So Jamie will be one of the paraprofessionals working in the Connections Academy, which is a behavior support program. So there's 4 staff in there. She'll join that team, and I think she'll be a great addition. She has a strong background in supporting kids with trauma-based backgrounds and high social emotional needs.
Okay, thank you. Any questions on this approval to hire?
When she moved to Mayville, I see she had a Caledonia.
Yeah, she's recently moved to Mayville.
Joe?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried 402. Resolution 1920-44, approval of co-curricular coaching contract. Jeremy Skrock and Corey Held for JV tennis. Christina Plazo for JV volleyball.
So moved.
Motion by Joel, seconded by
I'll second.
Jim.
Lee, can you speak to these?
Yeah, they were both, have been on, pardon me. Really is driven by the amount of numbers, which is really impressive in the fact that our high school enrollment is steady, but has declined over the years, and actually the number of kids participating in co-curricular thing have increased. So the numbers here are strictly driven by, or the hires here are strictly driven by the amount of kids out for supervision and the number of teams that we have.
So, yeah, that's exciting. So that's great to see that we have enough numbers for JV boys soccer that we can add an additional coach, or actually add a coach, because we only had 1 at the time. So then Jeremy will be a support person to Bill.
Yep.
That's cool. And then Corey Held is coming in and helping out as our tennis assistant, because our numbers are so large for tennis.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And then Christina Plazo is stepping up and helping to be, it's called JV2 for our conference. It's kind of the freshman team, but It's not limited to freshmen because it's designated in our conference as JV2. So that's great to see Christine come up to help coach that. So
Yeah.
really, it starts to almost become a facility use challenge with the volleyball having 3 teams like that.
Yeah, and we learned that as the construction finished this summer, that we had, I believe, 55 or 50 young ladies came out for volleyball this year, which is awesome to see.
Mike, I have a question, just, we haven't had a chance to talk about it. So when you see JV boys soccer growing, does that have any impact on football numbers?
You know, overall, it could. You know, you tend to lose, you know, your 3 offensive linemen aren't gonna play soccer, but you might lose a split end or a receiver every couple of years to soccer, you know. Not as much as you might think, because our kids pretty, as they come into high school, know which way they want to head with it. But the fact, soccer's done a great job to give an outlet for kids, as well as tennis for the kids that may not make the other 2 sports in the fall.
And soccer itself, I mean, is gaining a lot of momentum in the United States, so.
Yeah, and the chance to have Mr. Brownlow teaching in the building and coaching the kids has really helped. They had a tough match the other night, lost 3-1 up at Freedom in Capona the other night, so working hard.
Any questions on this approval to hire? Joe?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Motion carried 402. Resolution 1920-45, approval of teaching contract increase for Brad Seeger for the upcoming school year.
I'll move on that one.
Motion by Jim,
Second.
second by Dick.
So this, okay, so this has been in the works in a long time, for a long time, probably since last winter or spring, to start look at an opportunity for some community-based services. So I'm gonna scroll down to this document here that says Fund 80 staffing. So Fund 80 is something that we're recommending as a new source of revenue to help support this. It is a levy that it comes down to help support it. And this is for community-based tutoring services for any child in the area, homeschool, private school, or public school in grades 7 through 12. So one of the things that's important to kind of share is if we look at our census report, we're not reporting 700 students in private schools and 1,000 students. So the ratio of private school to public school students is obviously heavily weighted for the public school, right? In the meantime, there is definitely a homeschool network in the community, and there are private school students in grades 7 and 8 in the community. Plus, this can be anybody, so they can be open enrolled out students, open enrolled in students. It's kind of like our food, the summer meals program. How old are you? If you can reach out to us, connect with us, we have a community-based tutoring opportunity for you. And right now, we have 2 partnerships. One, we're going to be bringing this model to the public library 2 days a week with 1 staff member. And at Open Door, through this nonprofit entity as a neutral party, they are running, it's called Wired Up Tutoring. So there's 2 pieces here. They actually have a 3rd one too. I just put these 2 together here. So Wired Up Tutoring is for students that are in grades 7 through 12, Monday and Thursday. It's from 3:30 to 5:30. The first beginning of 1 hour of that is 30 minutes of a student, 30 minutes of another student after that, and then they're going to do large groups so that they can meet the needs of more students. So it could literally be a drop-in at that point in time if they chose to. So we're going to be, we have 2 teachers that will be a part of this, so Mr. Siegert and Mr. Kneprath. You can see more weight, more time with Mr. Siegert for the position, so he's going to be the lead. And then, so he'll be the library and the Open Door relationship, and then Austin Kneprath will just be at Open Door. So this is truly a pilot for us, an opportunity to do this community-based services, and we are hoping to have some positive impact. So there is a referral piece to it. It's still going to be very open, so we don't really want to turn anybody away. If they're interested, come on. So, but the referral piece is to make sure that our private school that we have an opportunity to partner up with, as well as our homeschool network, has an opportunity to be a part of it. So What's great is that Open Door, as a neutral nonprofit entity, has reached out to the network and to the private school, and we're gonna come now too. But what's great is they already were steps ahead of us in all of our planning for this. So we have wired up tutoring hours that are Mondays and Thursdays. Actually, and I actually have it incorrect, I have a typo. So it's just 2 days a week is what it is. So it's Mondays and Thursdays, and then the library will be opposite of that, Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And then the staff members, they don't have a prep that's allotted for that, so they'll have some time on Friday to get organized for the upcoming week. So they have 6 hours a week of one-on-one tutoring for 12 students it'll be, and then 6 hours a week of large group academic support. 8 of those hours will be at Open Door, and 4 of those hours will be at the local library. So it's a start. You can see what the budget is for this. So we have it written up as separate approvals for their contracts. The budget impact did vary based upon the person, because somebody qualifies for benefits. Naturally, you have to prorate some of that. So I tried to be very transparent with the cost, so you can see everything is red. In red is the actual cost associated with that person's position in order to do it. So there's, I guarantee that there is a detailed paper trail that will need to be done for attendance at this. So we'll have to have our T's crossed and our I's dotted. And already Open Door has a system that has been working well, so we're going to try to use that in the beginning. If we should be good to go.
How do you handle if you don't have enough kids or too many?
So if we have too many, then we'll have to come back next year, because we don't get to change the percentage. So we could increase it, but that's going to be district cost in order to do so. So let's say we want to add on time. After this levy gets approved, we're not going to go back and start to make changes in it. That's not, if you're going to levy a tax, you don't want to go and start modifying it afterwards. So if it's under, what we'll have to do is the next year we'll have to actually under levy that thing. So we want participation. So the goal is to have people coming, sticking with it throughout the year. It could be something that comes in for 6 weeks and they're great and they actually have an intervention during that time, an academic intervention. Or it could be somebody that's coming in and they're really spending 10 weeks there, 12 weeks there. During the large group, if somebody was a regular, that'd be okay, no problem. So, but we're definitely gonna have to pay attention to it, because we have to verify that these are community-based services. It would be okay as long as we've gone out and we've communicated. It would be appropriate, it would be okay, I don't use the word appropriate, it would be fine if we had, for 2 weeks, it's all Mayville students, grades 7 through 12 that showed up. We're not in control of that. We just have to make sure our good faith effort is always there, saying, hey, everybody's welcome, everybody's welcome. So I actually had like a middle school sports program that was funded through Fund 80. And 1 year we had multiple students that are private school students participate. Another year we had none, but I didn't do it. I promoted it, I tried for that. So we were okay as long as our good faith effort was there. The following year we had upswing in participation from homeschool privately. So just depends.
Do you have referrals for this?
Yeah, correct. So the referrals should be coming from to Open Door, our neutral party, to the library working with us, to our Fund 80 representatives, the 2 teachers. So that system is all, we have meetings coming up in the next 2 weeks here to get all those pieces put in place. So.
Any other questions on this teaching contract increase?
Yeah, I appreciate the work on this quite a bit. That I think in order to always be able to improve as a school district, this is one area that that I think really can affect students, be able to increase student outcomes and be able to give them better opportunities in the future.
We should definitely have an update to the spring too.
And I know it's going to be
it's
still going to be a rough start.
That's
Hopefully, marketing and stuff like that, letting the kids know that there is resources out there that are available for them to be able to improve, but not just some of the kids that are struggling, but even kids that are excelling. They can use that as well. For all the kids in the community.
Jim?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried 402. Resolution 1920-46, approval of teaching contract increase for Austin Knepra.
So moved.
Motion by Dick. Second by Joe.
Okay,
Same thing.
same dialogue.
Yeah.
I will say one piece, which is fun, much like Mr. Zarnat was talking about youth apprenticeship, we're actually, there is going to be a hunt looking for a youth apprentice, somebody who's interested in going into education, to also be working with them too, so like 2 days a week. So volunteering their time in order to support that as an apprentice. So in the future, it could even be a paid position. It's not a part of this budget, but we could levy and pay a student to help to do that. So just wanted to throw that out there. So we really believe in the youth apprenticeship, the programs, and the support that kids get when they do that. So mentoring a student who's interested in going into education would be a wonderful thing for us to do. So that's the future.
Any questions on this resolution? Dick?
Aye.
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 Motion carried 402. Resolution 1920-47, approval of 2019-2020 support staff wages. Need a motion?
It's really tiny.
So moved.
Jim, second by
I'll second
Dick.
it. I don't know what it
Okay. Me? All right, so I have Kara here tonight and Travis. So our goal was to try to get this portion of support, the staff increases, prepared prior to the beginning of the school year so that we could kind of minimize some of the back pay. So we had budgeted since last spring for CPI increases for staff. CPI is 2.44%. So if you look at that sheet, you can see the color, call it taupe. So anything taupe or like a light yellow color, that is a CPI increase. But we also have some that are outliers to that. In that I have shared with you, we've had a conversation and I put in writing documents that have for the special education paras, that we have ADL increase, which is assisted daily living, whereas we look at the duties of the position, and if they have that, that there would be a slight increase for those positions. Also, staff members that are in the behavior support roles, working with our emotional needs students, that there would be compensation we recognize for the skills that takes. Also, years of service too, so you can look at the document and you start to see that we're tracking years of service. So that stuff matters. When we look at competitiveness with some of the positions that are going on, when I've spoken to both of the individuals that I mentioned, like one of our secretaries is leaving, it was not about compensation, that was about commute and fit for family. But in the meantime, we do have concerns about some of our support staff roles and what's happening with the market. So we actually have some of the positions that have like a market correction also that are built into this. So we, I shared those numbers with you. I have a paper copy of that. If you would like, I can give you a copy of that right now even. But those numbers are in these that are all like a pink color. So you can see that those wages, it does not say CPI for those. Instead, so like Melissa Steger, her position with her years of experience in the district, that she's not compensated enough, we believe, so we recommend going to a 50-cent increase versus what would most likely be like a 25-cent increase. So we thought that would definitely be appropriate. Travis and I looked at, we did a sort by years of experience and looked at the duties, and we saw that Ms. Hintz, her position is not, her compensation does not reflect her years of service in the school district, and especially in comparison to where some of the other more newer hires are at. So we recommended market correction for that so that she would be in alignment. So all of the special education aides, you can see that they're pink, and that's based upon looking at the assisted daily living duties, the behavior support duties, and the years of service, as well as the